What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing the second to last LEGO Star Wars Rogue One set review on the Imperial Assault Hovertank. And the set number for this one is 75152. The recommended ages are 7 through 12, and it has a piece count of 385, while the price point is $29.99. And guys, this is the cheapest set to come out of the first wave of Rogue One sets if you're not including the buildable figures. And thankfully, though, it is absolutely worth picking up. But let's be honest, you should be picking this one up just because of Lego Donnie Yen, period. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the minifigs. Starting off with little Lego Donnie Yen, playing Chirrut, of course. Lego has really nailed this minifigure. This really is the full package, and he's got his two iconic accessories that we've seen him sporting, not just in the trailers with his staff, but also the blaster in certain marketing materials. So yeah, just to start off with the staff to get it out of the way, it's made up of a couple like gunmetal colored lightsaber hilts with a couple of the shorter brown rod pieces in between, and it's a pretty long staff, and I'm pretty sure it is about this big in the movie, so Lego has made sure to portray the length of it on this Lego, this Lego version of the accessory, so it's pretty awesome. And we'll go ahead and remove it though, again to get it out of the way, because you can't really see the torso when he's gripping onto it. And if we go ahead and just readjust his hand so that my OCD doesn't die, you can take a look at the torso, and the torso is really awesome. It's got all of his white straps, little black pouch on there, another little bit of design work that I don't really know what it is here that he has right there, that it almost looks like a detonator maybe. I don't know yet, and I don't think we really will know until Rogue One, if I were to guess, or until like the character encyclopedia and everything. But yeah, he's also, what it looks like, he's got like some other slots and pouches running along the lower strap there, so a really awesome torso design, and that's really great. And then if we go ahead and take a look at his back, you can see we've got his giant blaster, and the way this is attached on is, as you might have already noticed, Chirrut does have a standard black neck brace piece to not only have his blaster mounted on his back by use of a basic clip piece, but also his staff. So we'll take his blaster now and put that in his hand, and just to give you a look at what he looks like with the blaster. Now this, even though it is a little bit bigger than it really is in the movie, I mean, Lego decided to obviously go the brick built route for his specialized blaster rifle, and I mean, it really does work out though. It looks pretty awesome, man. So yeah, then we just take that same clip from the neck brace, attach it to the staff, and then we can have the staff now on his back rather than the blaster, and switch it up a bit. And I think that is really cool. The blaster is obviously just a standard long rifle blaster piece, and it has a little Technic piece on the front to house the two little golden tooth pieces, along with the little golden stud and the cone that comes right out of it. And again, that looks pretty reminiscent to what it looks like in the film. Obviously a little bit bigger because it is brick built, but definitely really great that Lego made an effort to make sure that it looked just like its on-screen appearance. So yeah, now we can go ahead and talk about the face. I really should have opened with that, because the face is fantastic. I think they really nailed Donnie Yen's likeness, and I mean, the way they've portrayed his blindness by use of making the majority of his pupils white with a very ever so slight like blue tint is fantastic. I really love that. And we take off his hairpiece, which is, by the way, just a standard like Widow's Peak hairpiece. I kind of expected Lego to use that, but you can see we do have another facial expression. This one is where he's smirking, which is really great. Now taking off the head though, along with the neck brace and staff, to give you a look at the back of the torso, and you can see the back of the torso is pretty detailed as well, pretty much more so just continuing all of the straps along with what looks like a little bit of his clothing, like his robe that like drapes over the straps, and so that's pretty cool. He's got one standard like white Lego hand to represent the white gauntlet that he sports in the movie. And now this is where we're going to talk about his waist cape. You can see his waist cape covers pretty much, it wraps around the entirety of his legs, and it's really great because Lego went out of their way to make this exclusive piece for him, this exclusive fabric waist cape piece, and it's really great. It's one giant dark red waist cape, and it's pretty much got all black printing on it. It's a dark red piece of fabric with all the black printing, and of course a copyright symbol in the center of it, because who needs monetization on videos, right? But it's really awesome, and I think Lego really did a great job with this, and I'm glad that they actually made this into a piece rather than what they could have done, which is they absolutely absolutely could have just freaking, you know, made a printed version. And guys, I'm not gonna lie to you right now, I'm kind of struggling to remember how the hell it goes on. And that we're just gonna take a couple guesses here. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right, or at least somewhat right. Let's hope. I'm pretty sure I did it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's how it goes on. That doesn't look right. Never mind. I messed it up. Gosh damn it. Okay. Well, anyway, that's Chirrut. I think LEGO did a fantastic job with this minifigure. Our second minifigure in this set, the Hovertank pilot. Another fantastic new Stormtrooper infantry minifig. I mean, LEGO nailed it with this guy as well. And before we even continue, you do get two of them, of course, and one of them having a pistol and the other having a blaster, that being the only difference between the two. And so that's great because this minifigure is great. We'll start off with the helmet. The helmet being an entirely newly molded piece. It is like the Death Trooper, like the Shore Trooper, a really detailed helmet. It's got rivets in the back for ventilation, all kinds of printing, and it is just all around, I mean, a fantastic and really great new piece. I really can't say much else about it. They got the visor shape nailed down, the breathers down toward the bottom, all other additional detail just really completing it. I mean, this is just a fantastic new helmet, and I really could not have asked for it to look any better. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned, clone heads, really got to stop doing this, LEGO. This has really gotten old. Literally any other head that isn't a clone trooper will suffice. There were very few clone troopers left by this point, you know, in the timeline. So, yeah. Anyway, the torso design is really awesome, though, and it's not just the standard, you know, Hovertank Trooper torso design, but it's also got a little tiny bit of weathering marks on it, which is a really nice touch. And unfortunately, the separation wasn't too kind for this, you know, the separation and the printing from the torso to the belt. So that's a little unfortunate. It does take away a little bit, but that's really a nitpick. This looks great, and so does the leg printing. And the leg printing is mostly black, and you can see it has a little bit of detail down toward the bottom for each knee pad before cutting off, but it really does make the minifigure that much better, and this would probably look really bland without that leg printing. But taking a look at the back of the torso as well, you can see all that detail continuing over here, and there is no printing on the back of his belt, so it kind of just cuts off, which is a little awkward, but again, nitpicks. I mean, it really doesn't take away all that much from the Hovertank pilot. This is a great minifigure, and I'm just, you know, super impressed with everything LEGO has done with the Death Troopers, the Hovertank driver, and again, I cannot wait to talk about the Shore Trooper after this review. So yeah, getting two of these guys just makes it that much better. And finally, let's go ahead and take a look at the set. So, the Imperial Assault Hovertank. I was really excited to get this thing, put it together, just because the design of it looks so cool, and it looks like LEGO did such a great job, you know, transitioning it into a LEGO set, and thankfully it did not disappoint. And if we go ahead and take a look at the features that it has, we'll start off with the seating and the interior. So, before we do open it up, though, I want to point out that on the top we have this adjustable blaster rifle, and this can be, you know, bent up and down, and also rotate a full 360, which is really nice. And I'm guessing that the actual like blaster doesn't look like this, that's on top of the Hovertank, but this is obviously close enough, and that works. But yeah, so obviously you have this little circular hatch on the top, but it's not just the hatch that opens. You have this entire square panel that opens up on the top, and then on the front you can see we have a couple of pretty noticeable hinges, and they are what allow for the front of it to open up as well, making the interior very accessible. Now the interior is not very exciting, but thankfully it is very minifigure accommodating, and also there is no control panel piece, which I was kind of surprised by. So there's no stickers to cover on this thing. There really aren't any whatsoever, which was kind of a surprise once again. So that is kind of nice, though. So anyway, you just go ahead and take your Assault Hovertank pilots here, and we go ahead and just you know, slide them onto the little axle piece. As you've seen with all the Rogue One sets, LEGO has been using this piece more and more now in the past year. They more so lay back, and then you can go ahead and close up both hatches with them now, you know, on board the Hovertank and ready to go. So that's really awesome. And moving on, though, we do have guns on both sides. This one on the left, and obviously these can rotate a full 360 degrees if you go ahead and lift it up just a little bit, but those are on there, and that's really nice. And then you also have the one on the left, of course, as well. So yeah, now the front is where the main playability feature lies. You've got a set of spring-loaded shooters, of course you do, and so the way those work, though, is you got a really nice hidden like fancy mechanism inside that allow for them to fire by turning these little tech Technic wheels that you see over here on the sides of, on both sides of the hover tank. And what you do to get those to fire is, I guess we'll go ahead and use Chirrut as our guinea pig. If I can actually grab him, that will be great. Currently he's decapitated. Let's fix that. And you just go ahead and turn these little knobs on the side of the hover tank, and you have to turn them backward, is something I should note. And then the spring-loaded shooters fire, and it works really well. And you can just go ahead and reload them. So yeah, I think that's really great because you have the spring-loaded shooters in there. They're really subtle. You can barely see them, and it works really great. So yeah, now one thing I do want to point out is while you have your hover tank drivers inside the hover tank, you can go ahead and take their blasters and clip them onto either side because you have these 1x2 modified bricks that have the clip and part of their mold, and it works really great. So you can put the blaster here and then turn it around and put the blaster pistol on this clip. Love that. And then also there are a couple jumper plates on the back of this thing in case you are like an anti clip person. You can stick your blaster and your blaster pistol in the 2x2 jumper plates that are on both sides of the back of the hover tank if that's your thing. But personally, I'm going to go ahead and put them back on the clips for now. And yeah, so that takes us back to the crate that is on the back of the hover tank. And it's kind of interesting because if you look on the back, we do have a couple sets of two 1x2 black jumper plates that kind of look like you're supposed to have two of these crates, but you only get one. So I don't really know what that's about and why LEGO put a slot there for a crate that doesn't come with the set. But regardless, we got this one orange crate here, and this is really nice. Now on the back of the box, LEGO imply that you take the minifigures, have them grip onto the handlebars, and then lift the top of it off. Personally, I don't care. I'm just going to pull it off. And you can see inside, I've got the binoculars, and you can really put anything that will fit in that little space. Obviously being the binoculars, and I believe you can really only fit one accessory if you want it to glows. Let's go ahead and test that theory, though. Actually, I lied. You can fit both the pistol and the binoculars, so that is really great and some nice storage. So really, LEGO has given you 3 different options of storage for the minifigs blasters, and that's really great. You can put them inside the crate, you can put them on the jumper plates, or you can put them on the clips, obviously, and again, all of that is awesome. And something else I really want to point out, because when I said this thing is minifigure friendly, I really meant it, because you can even take the hover tank driver and put them on the side. I mean, if you have more of them, maybe you have some stormtroopers you want to put on the sides, I mean, you've got space for not just one hover tank driver or, again, any other, Imperial military infantry. You can put one here, 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 and here. That's 4 available spaces. I mean, that is awesome. Even you can stick one on these 1x2, on these studs here, which is really great. I mean, so like I said, this thing is minifigure friendly. It's got plenty of storage for all of the accessories that the minifigures come with, and it's just overall a really fantastic looking design, and it's really accurate. This is a great build and with a great set of minifigures, and that is why I really do like this set. And I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorite that I've reviewed so far, and that's saying a lot because we're already 4 reviews in. Honestly, I think this and the ATST have to be my favorite so far, and again, I absolutely recommend you pick this one up. I think the $30 price point is absolutely fair, and I could not be more enthusiastic about this one. And that's where I think we're going to go ahead and finally take a look at the box, instruction manual, extra pieces, and we'll wrap up this video. The box is pretty much what you'd expect. You can see we have the hover tank depicted as being on Jeddah with Chirrut attacking it. We have all 3 minifigures in the bottom right corner here, along with the new Death Trooper packaging design in the top right, which is super cool. And then the hover tank pilots again on the top with Chirrut sporting the actual size reference. And then on the back, we have all the features that I just showed you, along with an advertisement for LEGO's Force Builder app. So aside from that, that is pretty much it for the box. The instruction manual is pretty much what you'd expect. It's pretty similar to the others. It comes in at a total of 72 pages long for the build that you can see in the bottom left corner there. And then off to the right, we have this really cool graphic again that I really, once again, want as a wallpaper that is super cool, having a bunch of the sets and a bunch of the minifigures from the Rebel Alliance. Actually, I think that might be all of them going at it against, the Empire on Scarif. That is awesome. And yeah, then if we continue to flip through, again, we have the minifigure checklist with all the different renders of each character, most of which we have talked about at this point, but I can't wait to finally talk about the Shore Trooper in the last review tomorrow, and then the entire wave that was released on Force Friday for Rogue One, and again, one more review after this, just the TIE Striker, and it's going to be pretty cool, man. And then another advertisement for the Force Builder app on Lego.com, or actually, I think it's advertised on Lego.com, and then obviously you download it in the App Store, and then the advertisement for Lego The Force Awakens. I really have to put that game back in and play the Rebels and Clone Wars DLC, man. Those look pretty cool, but yeah, that's it. And finally, the most boring part of the review, the very end with the extra pieces. We've got an extra spring-loaded shooter piece. I mean, if you're into gold teeth, that's a thing. Get one of those. An extra rod, and then a lightsaber hilt, so you can make a total makeshift dark saber or something. And then a black neck brace, an extra one for Chirrut, which is much appreciated, as I do use these on custom minifigures, of course. So, yeah. That's it though, and aside from that, that is the entire review, guys, and finally we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video.
I fear nothing. All is as the Force wills it.
What is he? Just don't even say anything. And there you go, that's it for my review on the Imperial Assault Hovertank. Again, you should totally consider picking this one up, guys. It's a great set, and yeah, but if you enjoyed this review, maybe found it informative, or if I did help you in deciding as to whether or not you do want to pick up this set, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below, and or your opinion on anything I might have said down in the comments, any mistakes I might have made, anything you might agree with, disagree with, it doesn't matter, guys, anything at all. It really means a lot, and always goes a long way, man. And yeah, we are almost done, guys. After this review, we've got the TIE Striker, and then that'll be it for the entire Rogue One wave of reviews. And after that, you can expect the X-Men Apocalypse Showcase along with Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all of which you can see over on my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, by the way. Links to all three of those are always down in the description below, and I do try to mention it, as I mentioned in the ATST review yesterday, I am working on the X-Men, guys, and they are coming as soon as I'm done with these reviews. I'm going to be binge working on the rest of them and, you know, just wrapping them up as quickly as possible. So, yeah, aside from that, though, that is pretty much it for this review, guys. I was really excited to finally review this one for you guys, and I'm glad I finally did. And I'm going to end it there, and I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye. Imperial Assault Hovertank, and the set number for this one is 7 through 12. Those are the ages. God. Traffic off to the right once again, which again, once again, bottom right corner, and in the top right corner, the new Death Star packaging, or Death Star Trooper, no, messed that up both times. It's a wallpaper, man, that's cool as hell, and then on the, this is annoying, by the way, like this, there's like no stopping this thing, it's freaking, God. Again, this is the fourth review. Cannot wait, again, to talk about the TIE Striker. I'm losing it. I'm just not into it. I'm gonna stop.